Today I am going to tell you my story. How hard you try, you can't understand my situation. After this incident, I am unable to sleep at night. I usually sleep during the day. You all are wondering that what's happened to me. Stay at the end and you understand in which pain I am suffering from. So it started when I experienced this. That time I was around 11 or 12 years old. I used to sleep in my parents' room. My single bed used to be placed in the corner of the room while parents' bed was in the center. There was a window beside my bed. And most of the time my father would wake up at night and check my covers, put them properly on me and adjust the windows. Sometimes he would open them little bit, while other times when he would feel it's getting bit cold, then he would close them. It was his habit. He also had a habit of snoring. So it was a December night when I was sleeping in parents' room. I had a blanket on. In the middle of the night, I woke up as I usually wake up after a couple of hours at night and change my side soon to fall asleep again. I woke up and I was facing a wall, so I turned around to face towards right side. So while I was turning around and was laying straight, just about to turn to right, I decided to pull more blanket on me, so I removed my blanket from my face and brought my right arm outside the blanket to pull it upward. I saw someone standing right beside my bed facing the window. Note that we used to sleep with bedroom lights off at night with only one light on outside the window, beside which my bed was placed. So it was not clear at that time and hard to make out who actually standing there. I saw that person standing there facing the window with his one arm stretched towards the window. He had light golden or yellow colored pants with light blue colored shirt. His dress looked blurry, and maybe that's the reason the dress color looked pale. My mind quickly shifted to my father, that he is the one trying to adjust the window. I tried to focus at his face, but it was not clear, and due to very little light I could not make out his face. But then a thought came up in my mind that my father doesn't wear pants and shirt at night, he sleeps with the shirt off. So that confused me. I shifted my head upwards to see him clearly, and one thing that I noticed at that time was that he was not moving, literally his arm stretched towards window with his face turned that side watching outside the window. It seemed like he didn't acknowledge my movement. So instead of pulling blanket on, I stretched my arm towards him calling Papa. He didn't respond. Second time I moved little bit closer to him, trying to touch his other arm that was towards me to get his attention while calling Papa twice. It was then when I found out that my hand was not touching him, although the position where he was standing it should have touched him by now, but he was untouched and undisturbed by my calling and moving. I took a little closer look, as at that time I was half sitting trying to touch him, and noticed that he was a boy around the age of 23 or 24. Not my father. A sudden rush of electricity went through my body upon realization that he was not my father, and only the other person that was in my room was my mother, who was no way that tall, as he was around 6 feet, same like my father. I shakily placed my arm that was stretched towards him back inside the blanket and pulled the blanket above my face, laying there straight as in the position I was at that time. Not knowing what to do, and at the same time thanking God that he didn't notice me calling him, I started reciting little prayer in my mind, as I completely forgot the other long prayer which was specifically used to be prayed while experiencing paranormal presence. All that happened in about 3 minutes or so from my waking up to putting the blanket above my face upon realizing who he was. After that I was so scared to even move a little, scared of getting his attention, although I knew that laying completely straight was not a good idea, but I didn't have the courage to change side. I kept praying while holding blanket tightly with my hands, and my body was completely drenched in sweat. After about an hour, or what I felt was an hour, I decided to wake my parents up. I could hear my father snoring at that moment, but before that I couldn't, as I felt my ears numb along with my whole body. I called my father slowly for about 2 or 3 times, but I could still hear his snoring. I lifted the blanket from my face so that he can hear me, and saw that no one was standing there. Whoever that person was, already gone. I checked the rest of the room while looking everywhere if someone was standing anywhere else, but no one was there. So I called Papa this time louder, and he woke up asking me what's the matter. I told him that I want to sleep beside him in his bed, and he said okay, come. I pushed the blanket off and was about to get up when in front of me on couch I saw a shirt. It was my father's shirt, which he removed before going to sleep, and I knew that it was just a shirt there, but all of a sudden, fear struck me with full force that someone was sitting there. Inside I knew that it's just the fear which I was feeling after experiencing that boy, but I couldn't comfort myself. Father told me to come, but I said, no, who is there, while looking at the shirt, come and pick me from my bed. He turned the little light on and saw me looking at his shirt with fearful face. So maybe he noticed that something was up, or I saw a scary dream, that's why I was getting scared of his shirt or couch. He said no one is there in convincing manner and that I should come to bed beside him. So I made my way towards his bed and laid down beside him facing towards my bed where I came from. I quickly fell asleep and saw a horribly scary lady standing towards the other side of the room, and I woke up. I thought whether it was a dream watching that lady or reality, but it was surely a dream because the position I was sleeping was not where the lady was standing in the dream. As of now I'm 19 years old, and that was my first paranormal experience that I shared. After that, for many years I kept experiencing paranormal activity in the other room. As soon after that experience I didn't want to sleep at the same bed again, and I moved in another room where my grandma and brother used to sleep. But I didn't know that it was just the start. I still live in the same house. And please don't mind my grammatical mistakes, as English is not my first language. Thank you.